Good morning, everybody. This week is Shabbos Parshas Yisro. We find a very interesting story, which actually this week's Parsha is called after the story. Yisro, Moshe Rabbeinu's father-in-law, traveled all the way from his city to come and visit his son-in-law, daughter, and children. After Machon, after hearing all the great miracles which happened to the Jewish people, he came and wanted to see it for himself. Yisro came and noticed a very interesting scenario. He woke up one morning and he saw lines and lines of people coming and waiting to hear a piece of advice or an answer to a question they had from Moshe Rabbeinu. He came and asked them, "Why are you all waiting here?" And they answered, "Well, he's the only rabbi in town. This is the only person who could come and answer the questions." Yisro came to Moshe Rabbeinu and said, "Moshe Rabbeinu, son-in-law, you're not going to be able to deal with this much more. You coming and answering questions from morning to night, after a while, it's going to be a bit too much. What about the people who are waiting for so long? I have an amazing idea. I advise you to come and divide the Jewish people, into groups. Or more likely, come and divide the courts or the rabbis who could come and answer questions into groups. Now, when some people have a relatively easy question, then one level court, level one will be able to answer it. If people will have a more complicated question, that court wouldn't be able to answer it, we'll go to the higher court. If that court wouldn't be able to answer, we'll go even to a higher court, and eventually, if nobody will be able to answer it, you, Moshe Rabbeinu, will be the one to answer the questions. Sounds like a great idea? Moshe Rabbeinu didn't really want to accept this piece of advice. But what he did was, he went to Hashem and asked him, should we follow what the piece of advice Yisro said or not? And Hashem came and agreed with Yisro, and from then on, the system changed, and people came and asked questions in the system that Yisro set up. The question is asked, why did we have to wait for Yisro to come and give this piece of advice? What Yisro said seems to be a very simple way of dealing with the Jewish people. There is no way that one person is able to handle the whole Jewish nation at a time. So why is only Yisro the one who came up with this? And Moshe Rabbeinu himself, being the leader of the Jewish people, why couldn't he realize that it was too much on him and on the Jewish people too? Why can't he come with this idea? We find another time that Moshe Rabbeinu, being the leader of the Jewish people, seemingly didn't really understand who he's dealing with. At the time of Matan Torah, Hashem came down on our Sinai and started the Aseret HaDibros. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, lo yeh Elokim acherim al ponai. The Jewish people came right away and told Moshe Rabbeinu, please stop this. Please you tell over the different mitzvahs that the Eibusher wants us to know. We can't handle Hashem directly telling us. Moshe Rabbeinu came and argued with them and said, no, Hashem should tell it to you directly. And here again, Hashem agreed with the Jewish people's decision, and it actually came through Moshe Rabbeinu. And here we find too, Moshe Rabbeinu, being the leader of the Jewish people, and a basic quality which is needed here is for the leader to come and understand who he's dealing with. And here it seems like in these two incidents that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't quite understand what level the Jewish people are actually at. Sounds interesting. What could possibly be the answer? The Rebbe explains a very interesting concept and says as follows. Moshe Rabbeinu came and said, I am the one who came and learned Torah directly from the Eibishter. The way I understand Torah it's on a level that nobody could possibly get to. The level that I grasp Torah is at the level called Re'iyah, seeing. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't just understand something, but Moshe Rabbeinu actually saw the concept he learned. What is the difference between hearing and seeing? We find in halacha the concept of ein eid na'is dayan. A witness cannot be a judge. And the reason for that is that once a person sees something, there is no way that he could see any other opinion. Whatever he saw, that's the absolute truth for him. A judge has to be neutral, has to see both sides. And therefore, a witness who saw something could never see another opinion. So the quality of when you see something, it's absolute truth for you. And when you hear something, somebody could convince you out of it. Even if you understand it at the deepest levels, somebody could come and convince you out of it because you don't see it yet. And that is the difference between hearing and seeing. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu came and said. I have to be the one who comes and judges the Jewish people. I have to be the one who comes and passes on the information and teaches them the Torah from the Eibishter. I'm the only one who could come and actually transfer over what I learned to them. The way I'm going to transfer over to them, I'm going to lift them up, bring them up from the level they're at, and bring them up to my level. That they're going to be able to understand Torah the way I understand it. I could give over what I saw. And this, nobody else could do. No other judge, no matter how smart he is, no matter how learned he is, could pass on the same way. And therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to come and follow what Yisro said. He said, I have to be the one to come and teach Torah to them. What did Yisro think? And why did Hashem come and actually accept Yisro's opinion? And the answer is, what Yisro said is, listen, all good and fine is when it comes to questions regarding Torah. You have a question and understanding this concept in Chassidus or this concept in Chumash, then Moshe Rabbeinu could be the one to answer it. But what about when it deals with questions regarding disagreements between two neighbors? When it comes to monetary questions? When it comes to questions that human beings have? Moshe Rabbeinu, being that he's in such a high level, he cannot go down to their level. And therefore the way he's going to explain them wouldn't be in a way that they will understand in their level. The way Moshe Rabbeinu taught them was in a way that the Jewish people lifted up to Moshe Rabbeinu's level. But the Jewish people, the simple Jews, had their conflicts, their questions they had with certain people that in order to answer that, Moshe Rabbeinu was not able to answer these type of questions because he wasn't bothered by these questions. He lived a different type of reality. And to answer these type of questions, Yisro said, we need other judges. We need other people who live amongst the Jewish people, meaning to say, they go down to their level and show them the way of Torah, that Torah also has what to say in the day-to-day life, not only in the spiritual, godly life. Hashem came and took Yisro's side. Why is that? Because Hashem said as follows: there will come a time when Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't be anymore the leader of the Jewish people. There will come a time that the Jewish people are going to enter Eretz Yisrael, and Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't be there. And when they're going to enter Eretz Yisrael, entering Eretz Yisrael means they'll start getting involved with the physical aspect of the world. Till then, in the desert, they were only involved in spirituality. They didn't have any physical worries. They didn't have worries of covering rent. They didn't have worries of buying clothes or buying food. Everything was given to them on a silver platter. Entering Eretz Yisrael, that's the time when they actually had to deal with physicality. Going down to deal with the physical aspect of the world, Hashem said, we need then somebody to come and continue what Moshe Rabbeinu started in the desert and tell them, Torah speaks then too. Torah doesn't only speak on the spiritual level, but Torah has what to say. Torah has its direction and its way of life, also in the physical way, also in the physical life, also in the mundane life. And that's why, in order to start that, Moshe Rabbeinu has to be the one in his lifetime, in the time the Jewish people being in the desert, has to appoint other judges and give them the power, give them the ability to come and lead the Jewish people, to come and guide the Jewish people in their mundane life. And Moshe Rabbeinu is supposed to be the one to do that. Why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu agree to that? Why didn't Moshe Rabbeinu want that? Because Moshe Rabbeinu in his eyes said, I'll be the one, I'm the leader now. I'm the one who took the Jewish people out of Egypt. I led them 40 years in the desert, and I'll be the one to enter Eretz Yisrael. And without the sin that Moshe Rabbeinu sinned, with hitting the stone, Moshe Rabbeinu was meant to be the one who would lead the Jewish people to enter Eretz Yisrael. And if Moshe Rabbeinu will be the one, it says that from then will be the Geula, Amitas of Hashlema, the ultimate Geula. So therefore Moshe Rabbeinu said, there is no need for this. Straight from the desert, the Jewish people are going to enter a world of redemption, or a world where there isn't any physical worries. And therefore there is no need to come and pass on, to come and let other people lead and direct the Jewish people. It's enough that Moshe Rabbeinu leads them. It's not only that Moshe Rabbeinu leads them, but it's not only enough, but it's also better than Moshe Rabbeinu leads them, because Moshe Rabbeinu is the only one again who could come and pass on the information that he himself saw from God directly to them. Comes out that the reason why Hashem came and listened to the Jewish people is because there is a time that they're going to go down a level, step down a level. Going into Eretz Yisrael seems to be a little step down. Dealing with the physical aspect of the world seems to be a little step down. Is that the case? Chassidus explains that no, it's not a step down. It's actually a step up. In a deeper way, it's a step up. What does that mean? So Chassidus explains at length that the reason why Hashem came and created the world is for godliness to be revealed, but not to be revealed in the spiritual world. For godliness to be revealed in the physical world. And when could that be accomplished? Not when the Jewish people going straight from the desert to the ultimate redemption. No. The Jewish people came from the desert. They had to come and spend a time being involved in the physical aspect of the world. And there bring down godliness in the world. By doing and dealing with the mundane life, and bringing godliness there through living a Torah lifestyle. By acting in the ways and the directions of Torah, that's how we actually bring godliness in the world. And what power did we have to come and bring godliness in the world, dealing with the mundane power? Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who gave us that power. Moshe Rabbeinu, by appointing those other judges, by allowing in his lifetime other people to come and lead the Jewish people, he gave them the direction, he gave them the encouragement, he gave them the power to actually come and tell the Jewish people in their mundane life that Torah has also what to say in their life, not only in their spiritual life. And this is the explanation why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to follow what Yisro said. It's not that he didn't understand what the Jewish people are at. He quite understood where Jewish people are at. He wanted to lift them up to be above their level. But being that the ultimate purpose is for godliness to go and penetrate in their level, in the mundane life, that's why Hashem came and followed Yisro's advice, and that's how it was. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't the only judge. He actually himself appointed other judges. Have a good Shabbos from Machon Alte.